Of the hierarchy of Spider-Man villains, there is undeniably the big three. One of the most infamous, the Green Goblin, is a formidable foe to any Spider-Man. Dr. Otto Octavius, most commonly referred to as Doc Ock, is another dangerous and known Spidey villain. But while these villains may be very popular, there is only one Spider-Man villain that stands above the rest. One villain that is so epic that he gets his own movie trilogy, and most importantly, the only Spider-Man villain to get 2 Eminem songs. Venom.
We are
Venom!
No.
Oh!
Yeah, we
are
Venom.
The Sony Venom trilogy is a thing that exists, and I think they are fantastic. They are such an anomaly of a film series that you can't help but just watch them and be bewildered by their sheer existence. Live-action Marvel movies are an action figure goldmine, and despite there being other Sony Marvel movies, the Venom series is the only one to get action figure releases. But Morbius did get a Hot Toys release, so that's something, I guess. Moving on from that fact, the first Venom 6-inch based figure was by Marvel Legends, being a pretty nice release. But after that, it would be quite a while until another movie Venom figure was made, and this time by an unlikely competitor. I feel like just out of nowhere, S.H.Figuarts decided to make figures from the sequel film Venom There Be Carnage, with both a Venom and Carnage release. For Venom movie enthusiasts like myself, the old Marvel Legends release filled the void of having that iteration of Venom. But come on, I mean, it's S.H.Figuarts making a movie Venom. So today we're going to take a look at this Venom figure and see if they cooked with this release.
Give me the milk! Caliente!
Here is Venom, specifically from Venom Let There Be Carnage. But I mean, his look doesn't really change that much throughout the films. I never really understood why he has these white marks all over him. Like, yeah, obviously he doesn't get the spider emblem, but I mean, these sludge things just kind of look weird. But I mean, it's better than him being completely naked, I guess. But this particular figure has one really weird design decision. Traditionally, Venom is a solid black and white, but for some reason this figure is more of a white and a dark blue. In the movie, he's definitely not blue, but they decided to make him bluish, so that's interesting, I guess. But besides that, I think this makes for a pretty great Venom figure, so let's just get into it. Going over articulation, we have quite the flexible symbiote here. Starting with the legs, we get a bit of thigh cut movement, upper leg movement, with cool butt cheeks. So that's awesome. There's also double jointed knees with both a foot hinge and toe hinge. Shout out to the sculptor who had to design the Venom toes. Moving up to the torso, there's 2 barbell joints, one at the bottom of the midsection and another in the upper chest. The arms are nice with a butterfly system, bicep cut, double jointed elbows, and ball joint wrists. As for the Venom head, this one is pretty good. It moves on a disc hinge, but since there's a big gap underneath his head, it gives a solid range of movement. Even though Venom is a brute type character, you can still get quite some athletic poses using the pretty great Figuarts articulation scheme. Moving on from the base figure, we get a plethora of accessories. Starting with the hands, we get 3 different sets. A pair of fists, open claw monster hands, and for some reason we get pointing hands. I think this is referencing the end of the first film where Venom eats the robber, but you can also just have Venom point at things. So that's always fun. Next up are the heads, in which we get 3 different options. One smiley happy Venom, tongue Venom, and a screaming and or eating your son head sculpt. Definitely a great batch of faces. I like the light blue details in the eyes. I think it just makes it look nicer than just being completely white. To talk about the next accessory, we'll need to take a look at Venom's back. Under his neck, there's a piece that comes out to plug in the bonus tendril accessories. These tendrils stick out of the back and actually have articulation, so you can pose them over however you like. It's a nice accessory since I think it's a peculiar ability to represent a plastic form. This is something that the new Marvel Legends movie Venom, also from Let There Be Carnage, sort of does, but instead of spikes at the end, it's a bunch of little Venom heads, which is hilarious. I wish he did this in the movie. That concludes all the accessories for Venom, but there is one last piece to talk about. Included in the set is a symbiote extension piece with Venom's head on the end. This is to recreate the moments in the film where Venom talks to Eddie face to face. I think this is a really cool accessory, though undoubtedly this would work great with a Tom Hardy Eddie Brock figure, but we've never got one and I don't think we ever will. Overall, I think this figure is pretty great. The color choice is definitely a bit strange, but besides that you get a solid representation of movie Venom. Maybe things like more hands would have been nice, but he's got all the Venom essentials you would need. In terms of movie Venom figures, this release stood as the best representation from the Sony films. However, S.H.Figuarts have recently revealed that they are making another Venom figure specifically from his appearance in Venom 3: The Last Dance. From what they've shown, it seems to just be a repaint of the Let There Be Carnage Venom, but without the talking Venom head accessory. It's definitely a very standard release, but if you miss the old one or really prefer a true all-black Venom figure, then the option is there. Like I mentioned earlier, this Venom released alongside the main antagonist of the film, Carnage. I passed on this figure, and thankfully that paid off because Marvel Legends decided to make their own movie Carnage. While Figuarts figures tend to be smaller than Legends, Venom is much larger than the average SHF, standing at around 7.5 inches, and Carnage in the movie definitely towers over Venom, so the scaling and proportions work out nicely. As for Spidey, a popular fan theory was that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man should finally fight an alien, but I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is more likely to meet this iteration of Venom, but knowing Sony, anything could happen. The Venom trilogy, I think, are the best films to come out of the weird Sony Marvel movies as of now, and I guess we'll see if there's more after The Last Dance. These Spider-Man related villains and character movies are definitely an interesting choice, but honestly, Madam Web was hilarious. Please make another one, or hell, even make figures from that movie. It's so awesome. But regardless of movie quality, this S.H.Figuarts figure is a pretty great representation of movie Venom. And yeah, I like it. End of video.
Give me the milk! Caliente!